Good afternoon. My name's Richard Tree. I'm one of the members of Swing Tones, the entertainment group that were due to be singing here today at the RAF Sculthorpe Heritage Day, which unfortunately, due to the current situation, as you all know, hasn't been able to take place, like lots and lots of other things. So what we thought we'd do is have a natter with Ian Brown, the curator, and give you a quick, swift, guided tour of all the new exhibits that you should be seeing and enjoying today. So I'd like to introduce Ian Brown, the curator, and we'll start with this enormous wheel and this crate here, which I want you to tell everyone
about.
Yeah,
I mean, again, this is off a Lockheed Ventura. It comes in the original reconditioning crate. Came out of a barn not a million miles away from here, and we're very grateful, obviously, to the owner of our Jaguar as well, who's donated this to the centre. It's a fantastic addition. It's still obviously got the label, reconditioning label on the wheel. It is what it is on there. But again, another rare part of an aircraft that's come to the centre, and we've obviously improved the displays. We've now got an original A11 USAAF flying helmet and goggles from Greg Myers in Arizona, who was here as a child during the 50s. We've just updated a lot of the different displays, and as you'll see as we move forward, Richard.
Yeah, you mentioned to me about the incendiary bomb.
Yeah, we've got a World War II, we believe it's German, incendiary bomb. Obviously, this was donated by John Hoskins, who I work with, who is ex-RAF, and his mum used to keep money inside this for safekeeping. So he's kindly donated this to us as well, and
it's amazing what you find on people's mantelpieces.
This is what's happened during this lockdown. Obviously, we're just as disappointed not to be open, and unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to be open this year at all. There's just nothing we can do about it. We have to be safe and make sure that people coming to the centre are in the safest possible environment that we can provide, and we think just not being open is the best situation at this current juncture. There's lots of other museums doing it, Ben Waters, and I think Thorpe Abbott's 100 Grit have done the same and not going to be open this year. That's obviously what we look.
The point I would make is that although you're on Odd Hope and you're still collecting exhibits,
very active. Obviously,
if people go to their barn, they haven't opened in 55 years.
This is what's happened. We've had so many kind donations come through from America and from the UK. Obviously, this crate came from Wickham Green. It was in one of the bungalows. We're currently looking at the provenance of it at the moment.
RAF Chiverney
in Devon. We think this is probably from the 50s when the RAF had a small contingency of RAF personnel, particularly in motor transport and maintenance, when the Americans came over with the B-29s, which would be the 301st Bomb Group. We've improved, obviously, displays. We've got new photographs of the 91st Strategic Reconnaissance Wing. Again, these pictures do not exist, and obviously we've got our fabulous varsity jacket, which was donated by the Schweitzer family, their father Ron, who was stationed here in the 50s, and we were absolutely made up.
That's a beautiful piece of kit.
Is it absolutely fabulous?
How rare are those sort of things?
Exceptionally, personal, family.
Yes.
And it's a one-off. It's a bespoke. Obviously, it has Ron's name on the front there. This is the first time we've actually seen this kind of emblem used. So we think possibly this is the Air Police emblem that they used at Sculthorpe. Absolutely fabulous jacket. Obviously, what we've done here, which is one of the projects I've been working on for half a year to 8 months, is the story of the atomic side of Sculthorpe. As I put on a Facebook post the other day, but we believe the atomic loading pits, which people knew about, we believe these now are the earliest known atomic handling infrastructure in the UK and Europe. The pits are exactly the same construction and design as the pits on the Tinian Isles, which obviously loaded an Enola Gay and boxcar. Most of the information came from the B-29 loading manual, which we have a copy of, so people can flick through and read exactly the same as what we found out.
I like you say, flick through. It's probably highly technical.
It's got every kind of information you require to build, construct, design, and use the loading pits. But obviously, we have plans. We have wheels in motion to do some interesting developments on the pits.
You mentioned to me earlier on that you hope that you might find the original lifting gear.
We hope so, yeah. We're looking at the moment, we're working on it. But again, the COVID situation is causing lots of delays, and if there's nothing we can do. Obviously, we've updated this part now, which obviously looks very smart and gives you a lot of information, but not too much, depending on how you want to take away. So obviously, as we walk further, we've still got obviously our case of precious things. No, of obviously different literature we have now. We've still got a lot the same, but obviously one of the newest additions is the 301st Bomb Group pictorial, which was an eBay find.
People who don't know exactly what is a pictorial. For people who
a pictorial basically is, you get yearbooks.
It's like a yearbook.
It's a yearbook. Obviously, we've got the 1952 84th Bomb Group down here, which was donated by Ian Warner. We've never seen another copy of it, and it's absolutely invaluable pieces of information. And I was lucky enough to be able to find a certain person in there, and his widow had never seen a picture of him at Sculthorpe, and there he was in the book. So I've sent the pictures to her, and she's obviously absolutely made up. She has a picture of her husband at Sculthorpe, which he was so fond about. So we've moved through, and we've obviously got our Steins, which we have been we have Lauren Hinkler's Stein, which was donated last year by Diane and Brian. But obviously we've got Colonel Price's now, which was another eBay find. And he was number 2 in command under David Jones, the illustrious base commander in the when the 47th Wing came in 1952. We have a 50s fire helmet.
Where did you find this one?
Well, this came in from a chap on the model show in February, and he found it in a barn in Walsingham. Yeah, again, it's something else that has a chap's name on. We haven't quite got round to searching for it. But
that
again,
is just so typically American. That one,
oh, absolutely. It hasn't, as you'll see on the other one we have across the other side, hasn't changed much.
No.
We also have the Flask thermos set, which is donated by Greg Myers. It was given
thermos was in Thetford, I think, years ago.
It was, but this, we think the story he's given us. As a child, the B-66 crew came off as he was with his dad, Captain Myers, and they gave him the flask as they came off the B-66 when they'd just finished.
So other children get a bar of chocolate. He gets
a flask
set. Flask set. Amazing.
Obviously, we've improved all of our new odds and sods. Little bit, obviously, the personal stuff, which is quite hard to get hold of. We've got an ashtray, which was donated again on the last day that we were open by Mr. Stephen Collinson. And we have some other passes, Liberty passes again, we found on eBay. And then we have, I've never seen them before, Thanksgiving and Christmas menus. Again, donated by the Schweitzer family from their father, Ron. Absolutely immaculate condition. Now,
did the Americans do what the RAF used to do at Christmas? Was that the officers came over and served the other ranks? I don't know whether that was something the Americans did.
I think the Americans will probably do something similar. I believe they did something similar. There was a very obviously good, particularly Thanksgiving, I think, camaraderie between the ranks. I don't think there was much sort of snobbinish about ranks.
No class system there.
So no. Obviously, an area which we've concentrated quite a lot on is our flood display. Obviously, we have wonderful silver pheasant and the original parts still available to view. We've improved a lot more about the 67th Air Rescue Squadron because obviously we've made a lot of new friends with the 67th Special Operations Squadron at Mildenhall, and they've helped us out a lot. We now have the anti-exposure suit, which is exactly the same type as Mr. Rice Leeming wore when he did his heroic saving 27 people in the tidal floods of 53. Yeah. We do have a very special item on the cards coming back. Fingers crossed. We're just sorting out the paperwork as it was, but it will be an absolute.
This is pretty. I will tell you later. We can't give too much away. No. But this is an exclusive, and when you hear about it, it's going to be amazing.
It'll be absolutely amazing. Obviously, we were chuffed to pieces to have this. Find this anti-exposure suit.
Yeah,
$20.
That's eBay again? Or?
No, it was Facebook.
Right.
It was Facebook. Some guy was saying, "I don't anyone know about it," and I said exactly what it is. And I said, "Would you sell it?" He goes, "Yeah," and it was new old stock. It's never been used, and it's exactly the same as
the photograph.
The same as the photograph. So again, an area we've tried to improve on quite a lot, as it's a very important part of Norfolk's history, not just Sculthorpe's, but I say with Norfolk's history. So as we move round,
come this way, gentlemen.
We've still got our model display, which we're quite proud of. and we've improved.
Many man hours involved in those.
Yeah,
aircraft.
I mean,
A
obviously,
lot of those are unique. They've been painted to represent aircraft that work.
yeah, the chap that Fred Martin, who donated them all. We've always said to him, it's absolutely fantastic that he donated this many aircraft to us. Obviously, I like to make some, but Fred, without his help, we would never have the display that we do.
The standard of finish on those
they're fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're not just straight out of the box. They've been made to represent aircraft that work.
Yeah, I've got one I'm going to build shortly, which will be a KB50 refueler, which isn't a kit. It has to be all hand done, scratch built.
Good luck.
Yeah, I've got most of it together. Obviously, we've got now our B45, the World War II aircraft which is here, and then obviously this B66 which I built over the winter months. Obviously, we've got our door and our obviously mahogany wooden B45 model, which fabulous piece. And then we have our newest additions here. Sadly, not Harry is our newest addition. Give a wave, Harry. Harry is now sat in our KC-97 Strato type tanker pilot seat, which Kevin Osman very kindly purchased for the centre. We've also got behind the back, if Harry wants to stand up for us, we have the parachute as well, which would have, which you feel we've left it like that for this particular reason, because then people can see how actually heavy that actually is. And that is without the reserve chute part of it,
Which usually goes on the front, doesn't it?
We've obviously got our air raid siren. Do you want to give it a quick whiz, Harry?
You beat me to it, Harry. I was going to go with it.
So another kind donation,
Panic.
which obviously people can, when we reopen, people can have. Most museums lock them up, and you're not allowed
That's
to touch
another
them.
thing you mentioned about the seat. That when we reopen,
everybody's more than welcome. Come sit down, have a seat. Obviously, we do have our kids dressing up box, which Harry is wearing our MiG-15 pilots flying helmet and goggles, and then we have obviously a lightweight summer USAF flying suit, which again, we're quite happy for people to come down, try them on. Obviously, donations is how we obviously operate.
I like the irony of the fact that it's an American museum and you've got a MiG helmet.
Well, obviously the MiGs are obviously a very formidable aggressor to the Americans. So obviously, people will come down and they can more than welcome have got an air raid siren. A lot of museums don't do that. We're a little bit different. We like to be a bit more hands-on. Obviously, as we progress further around.
You mentioned one thing as we were passing about selling turbine blades.
Yeah, we're looking.
This is news to me.
Well, we've got a lot of obviously wreckage from the B66, and I spoke to the chap that loaned us our centrepiece, and he was like more than happy for us to sell certain parts and use certain parts for proceeds and funds for us. We will be releasing it shortly. We're just getting up obviously what the blades look like. Is obviously you can see how much has been impacted on the floor when it crashed. It's a very unique part of the aircraft.
Yeah.
This is, again, as we've said on numerous occasions, as far as we're aware, the only RB66 wreckage or aircraft in Europe on display. We don't know of anybody else that's got one. So
to own a piece of that is something unique. I mean, I've seen people who've made watches out of pieces of Spitfires and things like that, and companies charge an absolute fortune. So,
and we're not going to be. It's not going to be a great deal, but obviously something we can work on, and we've obviously improved the displays about history. We've obviously got our more recent 70s and 80s collection of items. We've got a new glass in there. We've tidied a lot of stuff up, and obviously if you want to come around this way,
this side of you.
Yeah, and if you just turn around, and you can look at our now complete 1950s pilot. We've obviously now got the correct May West, and obviously the reserve chute behind him, and obviously the P4 helmet with the face mask. Again, something that we found and we got offered, and we too good to refuse.
So it came as a job lot. You assembled it piece by piece.
We've assembled it piece by piece, but obviously it looks
very authentic.
As overseeing his. Wreckage.
He's been very, very patient there, isn't he?
Obviously, we've changed. Obviously, we've improved the displays for the 80s and 70s. And obviously, we've got our U2 TR1B, which is
back in the news. Recently,
it was recently with the engine problem at Mildenhall. I'm not entirely sure what the situation was with it, but
No, the video when I saw the video, it said there was an engine problem, but it sounded healthy enough.
it sounded. I mean, he looked like he was gliding it in.
Yeah,
to be fair, it didn't look like he was.
Yeah.
But a fantastic landing.
It was no chase plane.
No chase planes, and he was absolutely spot on.
Yeah,
so fair kudos to him.
Yeah.
We've obviously got our collection now of t-shirts and jackets. These are all original. We've got a good selection of Flintlock, the Air to 2, which was 1989. The Corsairs that came over in 83, 86 and 89. Our first com jacket, again. We could look at making copies, we don't know at the moment, it's still a bit up in the air. And then obviously we've moved around, we've got our A10 display from the Wisconsin Air Guard. We've got some nice pictures of when they're here. And I believe the picture of that Thunderbolt is the one that's in Duxford.
Wow.
From the name, the number corresponds with the same. I could be wrong on it. I normally am.
I think there's a museum somewhere that's got one of those that's a runner somewhere.
I mean, obviously Bentwaters have got the other one.
No, it is Bentwaters.
Bentwaters have got, and they've got a running Jaguar now. They've them guys obviously fantastic work they've done on that.
It's amazing, isn't it?
We've got our F111.
No, this is the one that crashed.
This is the one at Binham.
The one that crashed at Binham, yeah.
Again, another development which we had through the lockdown is a chap has come forward and he has video footage of the plane on fire in the sky from Sculthorpe Control Tower, and then you see the capsule of the pilot and the co-pilot eject out, or it's not a co-pilot, he's the navigator, isn't he?
Thank you.
Navigator arm.
So, and you can see the ensuing fireball as it hits the ground on just yards away from Binham Priory.
Yes.
Again, we're going to have that on when people can come and look and see it, and yeah, it's a fantastic video clip, and we're going to put it shortly on Facebook as well on our page.
Amazing.
Obviously, we've got the radio equipment from the control tower, which is obviously another part there, and then we've on these boards here. These are from the NCO's club, and this is all graffiti from people when they were using telephones.
Really? Wow.
We felt it needed saving.
No, that's unique. Yeah,
and so.
Again, when you go into old pubs that have been serving RAF airfields, it'll be the Lambusters.
Yeah.
And above the pub, you've got all this.
The Eagle in Cambridge is a prime example.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
it's amazing.
But so we thought that needed saving, and it's come up quite well as a present. Obviously, we've got a Thunder Chief pylon from when they visited in 1978.
Is this a weapons pylon?
This is a drop tank. Fuel tank pylon. It was here. We had it on display at the beginning part of the year, but obviously not too many people have seen it. As we move around further, we have our Duke of Edinburgh corner. We've got some original photographs when the Duke of Edinburgh visited in 1960 for a banquet, again from Captain Robert Myers and his son Greg. We have an original menu from there as well, and then obviously we have the letter that we received last December from his personal secretary saying that he remembers obviously the floods very well and hope that we do reasonable stuff here and move from there. And then obviously as we move around, we have our worn flight suit from the current commanding officer of the 67th SOS, which he's donated kindly to us. So it's been in the old Herculeses, and he said, "Oh, you can have that." And them guys have been absolutely brilliant for us. They've really helped us out with a lot of different stuff. I've got a storage thing full of items which we just haven't got to display. I'd just like to mention we haven't got any power today either, so that's why it looks a bit dark. So we do apologise. Things are afoot. We are looking at changing things again, and we're always looking for new items, and we're trying our best as much as we can between ourselves and the volunteers. Obviously, we have Kevin. You can pan around there. Doesn't like the thing, but I don't give a monkeys because without Kevin's help, and obviously Paul behind as well. Paul Betts is our new volunteer. Obviously, a couple of others have not here today through one way or the other.
Talking about volunteers, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
If somebody's watching us for the first time and thinks this is fantastic, I'm now retired, or I've got an aviation interest, what's the best way of
just
do you need
contact us?
volunteers?
We will need in the future. The way things are moving forward for us quite rapidly. I mean, obviously you've seen it from the start when I started it off, and it's just grown and grown and grown. And we are going to need further volunteers because it has come to obviously my attention quite quickly. I can't do everything.
No,
and that's
You've
why
done an amazing
I
job,
need guys like Kevin and like Paul and Jess and Ray, who's not here, and my kids as well, with Harry and Holly and Luke. I mean, they've done amazing jobs. They come and do the teas and coffees all the time. Obviously, Harry loves it anyway, but I can't do everything on my own anymore.
So in a normal year, how many days do you open normally?
February to November.
Well, once a month.
Once a month.
Oh, right,
Obviously, things may change. Again, everything's always changing all the time. We are trying to go to do our model show again next February. We've already started to put that down. Again, we don't know. No one really knows what's going on with COVID. So we just have to see and play it by ear. But obviously, we're not going away. It's not going away. We're still working hard on stories, information, pictures, items.
Have you got more stuff that's in storage?
Yes.
So
We
again,
have
you're looking for a bigger room, aren't you?
We have a very large item display item, which has a West Raynham connection.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to put in here. We are just well, it's we can say now he's actually a Gloucester Meteor jet engine.
Amazing.
We are
big.
Yep, we've got space for it, unbelievably, and we're just again, it's currently being worked on to make it display safe. It was got great story again, which will be included at some point in further posts online.
And are you looking to move to a bigger room?
We do need our own premises now. As much as this room is great, and obviously the Green
So have
Park
you got some
Centre.
reminder? Would you like somebody to contact you if they've got a spare aircraft hangar?
We're looking for anything. Obviously, we'd like to try and keep it as local as we can. We look at all options and see what would be best for us and move forward from there. Because as you can see, we're running out of room very, very quickly. I don't know how we've managed to put everything back in here, but we just volunteers will be something.
So volunteers, contact the gentleman via the Facebook page. Is the obvious one.
And obviously we've got our website page as well, which obviously we've now changed the name from Forgotten Cold War Base to RAF Sculthorpe Heritage Centre. It's all online. Everything's there. My phone number's always there. Someone will always get back to you on something or other. So,
and again, we reiterate what we said at the beginning. If you're doing a house clearance or you've got a barn that hasn't been open for 55, 60 years and you find something that you think is connected, then Ian wants to know about it. So if you've got something that looks vaguely metallic and you're not sure, example would be that turbine blade there, we'd love to hear from you. We really would. That sort of stuff, once it's gone, and this is the place for it. Not dying or disappearing or collecting dust in somebody's attic. So anything you find that's got any connection, even if you're not sure of it, do let us know.
But yeah, thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed it. We haven't rambled on too much as we normally probably do. Please do message, comment, whatever, and go from there. And hopefully you've been shame we can't be open like we wanted to be, but this is the situation, and this is probably the best solution we could find to make feel people could come like they did last year, which was so popular.
Yeah. Give us feedback on the video as well.
If you hate it, just say hate it. It's fine.
Yeah. Say it was great, it was too long, too short. Could you elaborate on something here? If it leads on to another question, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Could you have a professional cameraman?
We've got a fairly good one. But yeah, so thank you very much for having us.
That's right, glad.
Hopefully we can see you all reasonably soon at some point. Thank you.